So you got a big fight tomorrow. Obviously not the opponent you expected. Was there any differences in camp as it relates to this opponent?
It always is when the opposition changes, but I think that it's the same, business as usual. You know, guys are pretty tough, and he's a big puncher, so that's what you think about it, that's what you know about it. Not much changes.
Was there any hiccups in terms of his mindset or stronger mindset because he wanted Harrison? Because as an athlete, you want that get back. Whether it's cards or boxing.
It always is a hiccup, right? And it changes, opposition changes, but because of that, just you deal with whatever and you make up your mind. This is what we fight and keep on going.
Right. Can we drop down 7 pounds? Contract signed, sealed, and delivered at 147.
I don't know about that. No, I'm not really I promise all that. You gotta talk to somebody else. Talk to Al Heyman or something.
Well, I don't even know. I don't know if he exists. Does he exist?
I'm just saying. You gotta talk to Sean Porter.
Earl's in camp. He said he's back. He's fighting in September.
He's getting ready.
Getting ready.
Yeah.
For Sean Porter?
Opponent to be named later, or opponent to be named soon?
Man, look, all I know is we training like you're supposed to train, and when they tell you whatever's going on, they'll let us know. We'll know. Everybody will know.
How do you move from a Sean Porter to a Sean Porter from a Mikey Garcia?
How do you move? I mean, it's like it's no different. I think that it's no different than being in a situation where you fight an amateur. Where you every day is somebody different. So we have months in between to prepare, to watch a guy. And with Sean, we've been around him, we know him. Errol sparred many rounds with him before.
Oh,
he sparred a lot, yeah. He was one of the sparring partners for the Olympic Games to help Errol get ready for the Olympic Games. And Sean was getting ready for to fight for the world title. So he was number 1 in the world.
Oh, for Devin.
Well, okay, yeah. It was like Lamont Peterson was there, Sean Porter was there, Adrian Broner was there, and Jorge Linares. So he sparred with all those guys.
How was the sparring?
What sparring?
Between Earl Spence and Sean Porter.
Hey man,
that's the obvious next question.
It was good, man. It was good sparring. I mean, I saw him spar like 2 rounds one time, and that was it. But I mean, it was good sport, man.
Now, obviously, tomorrow night you got the fight with Jermell. Obviously, the big goal is, to get that rematch against Tony Harrison. Right. However, a lot of people in the sport may be saying that this might have been a blessing in disguise to just get one in between the rematch, between the past fight and the rematch. What are your thoughts, the mindset? Because obviously you guys were originally preparing for Harrison, but do you think that maybe this was a blessing in disguise to get one in before you guys step back in the ring against Tony Harrison?
I think if you look at any fight is a blessing on this level, right? But I think at the same time, I don't know if it's a blessing in disguise when you want what you want, so you got to wait a little bit longer to get it. I mean, nobody injury is a blessing for, Right. So I mean, in that sense, but hey, it's life, man. We got to keep roll with the punches.
So right now we in June. Can that rematch be expected? Could we expect to see that before the end of the year?
Yeah. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Now, you've been in the ring with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia wants to stay at 147. Watching him in the ring that night, do you think he should move down to 140 or fight Danny Garcia supposedly at 147?
I can't tell because, you can't really tell. From a performance like that, you really can't tell. I mean, he just didn't have a chance. That doesn't mean none of those guys are in that weight fight like Errol, isn't he? Throw punches like Errol, has the size of physique or physical, stature of Errol. So I can't say. I mean, I think that if he were to get Danny Garcia, that's on him. I mean, that's 2 good fighters fighting each other. That's what it's about. All right, Brad. I'm gonna call you later. Yeah.
Now, Jermell was shredded. He was absolutely ripped. Does he carry in like kind of a chip on his shoulder? All the stuff with the Harrison kind of bad-mouthing him, saying this, that, and the third, and then having to switch. Does he carry that angst and that energy?
I think that, if you know the Charlos, they always have a chip on his shoulder anyway. So, it's like, so maybe knock one off and get it. The other one's still there. So,
okay.
I think that, he wants what he wants. I mean, he's a tough guy. He's very rugged and raw. And you'll see what we've been working on. I mean, this is a different guy, quick switch. And he's hoping to be an Andy Ruiz, but no, not tonight. You know what I mean? Not tonight, not tomorrow.
Did you get a chance to watch the fight, the Jermell Charlo Harrison, like actually watch it back? And how did you score?
I did watch it back, but I didn't watch it back until camp started.
Okay.
And I scored it the same way. I don't think that. I just, from my perspective, I won't even say that you have to beat the champ. I think that you have to be busier. You know, and that's on both ends, so it doesn't matter. That's in the past, man. If that would have happened, we wouldn't be talking about the guy anymore. So I like him a lot, and I think it's going to be a great rematch.
Not to overlook the opponent tomorrow night, but what changes do you feel need to go into the rematch in order to not leave any doubt in the judge's mind?
Well, I'm not going to overlook the other guy. Like you said, I'm going to do what you said and focus on the guy we have in front of us, which is a tough guy. Very durable, you know, and he's very focused. He wants, just because he lost to this guy, that guy, that's inspiration, you know what I mean? But if we don't know what sparks individuals to be great.
Should you get the rematch, are you looking to stop Harrison this time?
You know, I feel like this. I don't go into a fight looking for knockout, but the punches that we generally throw get knocked So I just want to be consistent in that aspect, in the preparation aspect. Not so much about, trying to get a knockout. I think the point of the fights is to win the fights. Not so much about a knockout.
Sean Porter, I'm sorry. Sean Porter's made some comments. Kenny Porter's made some comments. Have you seen a level of higher intensity in Errol Spence as it relates to training?
Bro, I think Errol doesn't really look at that stuff. But I was really upset about those comments in the sense that, I saw someone say Errol doesn't like him. Errol doesn't like him, doesn't like the way he looks, and don't like that he's on television, and I think that's unfortunate because I think they are friends. Errol has never said anything, one thing, this is no lie since I've known him, he won't say one thing bad about another boxer. No, not one time. So when you talk about Sean Porter, he never mentioned it, never mentioned it. Never talk about it. I think when you focus on yourself so much in your career, you can't talk about everybody else, So I think it's very unfortunate that he would say Errol doesn't like him or Errol doesn't like it. He's on television. But they offered Errol the job first. So why would you be mad at the guy who took the job that you didn't accept? That's, but that's what it is, man. I'm not mad at him. He feels the way he feels. It's very unfortunate.
So in high school, we would call that sloppy seconds.
I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say they offered a man a job. The man said no, and got the job. I can't be mad at you for getting the job that I didn't accept in the first place.
I asked Errol last year his thoughts on the Wilder versus Joshua fight. He said he would pick Wilder. He said he rocked with the American. Did you get a chance to see Joshua Ruiz, or what did you make of it? Was it shocking to you? Like it was?
I did not see the fight.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't see the fight, but I knew before the fight, I was in the airport. I told my brother, I said, this guy's going to give Anthony Joshua a tough fight. He said, no, he's going to get down further. I said, no, because he comes with pressure. Anthony Joshua's in phenomenal shape, phenomenal fighter. If you let him fight his own fight, if you let him be he can sit out there and box you and pop shots or whatever all day long if you let him do that. But when you don't let him do that, that's what you get. You see how everybody's saying he was tired because he's great to fight at his own pace. When you intensify the pace, he's fighting at this other guy's pace, he's not accustomed to that. That's where the fatigue came in. And Holyfield said, fatigue makes cowards of many men. So, that's what he said. So you push the pace.
Who would you slight for the rematch? Like, who would you shade?
I'm going with Team USA, man. Andy Ruiz is an American fighter, born in America. American fighter. He went to the Olympics for Mexico, but he lives in America.
What about if Wilder fought Ruiz? Let's say he get best.
Hey, well, man, I don't get into that. That's a personal issue. That's between them. I care. They should care about who wins, not me. I'm just going to look at it as a fan, not put my personal feelings into it so I can actually enjoy the fight.
Derrick, given that you don't have any ties to none of the heavyweight champs, nothing like that, Wilder came off a very impressive victory last month.
Right.
He wants, first it'll be Ortiz from what we're hearing, but he wants ultimately that Fury rematch. If you was in his corner, what adjustments would you make stepping back into the ring with a Tyson Fury, given his elusiveness, his slickness, his boxing ability?
I mean, I don't know, man. I just, he's been doing great for what he's been doing, you know. I believe he knocked Tyson Fury down twice, right?
Yes, in the 9th and the 12th.
And Tyson Fury didn't start fighting until the fifth round. So if you lose 4 rounds, you're knocked down. That's 8-4. I mean, so I think he should just keep doing what he was doing, because Fury didn't start fighting until like the 5th round, where he started fighting. So you're knocked down twice. I mean,
Yeah.
so I think he should just keep doing what he's doing. I mean, I have that his guys know what they're doing. I'm focused. I'm an expert on what I do, not what other people do.
One thing about Errol that I noticed that separates him from other people who reach the superstar status is he has a small circle and he stays kind of to himself, like he's not showing all his camp and
Right.
stuff like that. Where does that come from? Whereas some guys, like, they show that they're living a life and that kind of stuff when they get some more money, and he's just like,
I think that
humble.
listen to who he is, man. His mother, his parents, you know, it's who he is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, we're on the low. We live. It's not so much about, you know, we don't live like that. You know what I mean? I don't live like that. He's not like that. I think that you have to have humility to be great. I think you have to be humble to be great. I think that you have to just stay in your situation. You know what I mean? And, you know, everybody doesn't even know your business. People talk too much. Like I told a guy today, I said, the way I came up with a strategy for Mikey Garcia is because of people talking too much. Because when you watch the video, you can't see what he does wrong. You can't see what he does wrong, because when he throws his jab, he drops his hand down and brings it back up. Right? And he punches, he raises up a little higher. That's not enough to go off with a bit of strategy. The strategy came from people talking about how smart he was, how intelligent he was, how intellectual he was. I said, okay, he's so smart, he's a great counterpuncher. I'm gonna keep a jab in his face. Keep him busy, keep him occupied, so he can't be as smart as he is, because he's thinking about getting away from those punches opposed to counterpunching. So when people talk about how intelligent he is, the strategy came from the conversation, not from watching the video, because there was nothing he was giving up to say he has flaws, he has faults in the video, but it's a conversation. You gotta always reach and reach and reach until you get what you need, and that's what I got. I heard him, I was like, okay. All right, that's what, so people talk too much, people show too much.
Now,
If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive, from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.